Welcome in, quick hitters. Welcome in, Goodymo short crew. Hope everybody's day is going well. We got a quick hit spotlight. Charles Barkley, of all people. Some say he was going to retire. Even he said he was going to retire. Look like Charles Barkley is backtracking those words. Maybe it has something to do with his deal with TNT. The 10-year for $210 million. Look like it won't be guaranteed. Look like it will be voided. Look like they have to work out some deal to give him maybe partial payment or possibly none at all, making him a free agent. Well, before all of this was talked about, Charles Barkley went on record saying that he was going into retirement. He wasn't taking any phone calls. He wasn't going on any shows. So don't look to ask him any questions about him continuing being a sports analyst. He said he is done. He's retired. Well, is he? Charles Barkley is answering the phone now. ESPN, Disney, NBC, Amazon, trying to see what they can work out. He says he's got 1 year to think about what he's going to do. I don't think Charles Barkley is done. I think he was looking at this $210 million as part of his retirement. Now that he's not getting the full amount, possibly, they're still working things out. Maybe he gets partial, maybe he doesn't get anything. But he becomes a free agent. A sports analyst becoming a free agent. It's got to be in the record books. Now he's a hot topic. ESPN, Disney, NBC, Amazon. One of these networks are looking to get him back in the sports analyst seat. And Charles Barkley is answering the phones. We're going to get into the article. We got even an interview with him with Dan Patrick on the Dan Patrick show. Charles Barkley talking about it, and it's an impelling interview. Charles Barkley, he's crazy, man. That's a funny guy. Funny guy, interesting. That's what made Charles Barkley great all these years, being a sports analyst on TNT. You don't know what you're going to get from him. The guy will spill anything out of his mouth at any given time. Great for sound bites. But all in all, TNT, long time me tuning in, watching it throughout, me playing basketball, even way back in the day when it was just Ernie, Kenny, and Chuck, even before Shaq even got there. So they've been running for a long time. Back when I was jumping and shooting jump shots. So you know that was back in the day. Whether it's ESPN or it's Disney, whether it's NBC, whether it's Amazon, I think we're going to have Charles Barkley sitting in that seat talking basketball. Good or bad, it's up to you if you like the guy. He's all right with me, but some of his takes, you kind of got to, question a little bit on his stance on a lot of things. But entertaining, he's always been entertaining, and you don't know what he's going to say out of his mouth. So we're going to get into the article. We're going to get into the clip, actually, on this interview with him and Dan Patrick on the Dan Patrick Show. And shouts out to the USA Olympic teams all over the events, trying to bring home gold. Been tuning in a little bit on that, and it's been exciting. Basketball team has beat Serbia, so they got to keep that train moving and keep it rolling. Kevin Durant was back. It was good to see him out there, showing what he can do. We always knew he could hit jump shots, and he was doing just that. So we're going to take a look at that later on. But Kevin Durant is back, and he put on a performance for USA. But let's get into this interview with Charles Barkley and Dan Patrick on the Dan Patrick Show. Charles Barkley, man. I don't know if you want to call him Charles Barkley or Chuck Reynolds with these glasses on. Man looks like, what's that guy's name? Looks like Geechee Dan off an old school classic, Uptown Saturday Night. Oh, Charles, man. But let's get into this interview, then we'll come back and we'll talk about it.
Has somebody spoken to Amazon?
I have spoken to all three networks.
So you spoke to Amazon?
I have spoke to all three networks.
So you spoke to Amazon?
I have spoke to all three networks, Dan, who got the NBA going forward.
I know Amazon is where you can
Let me
go.
say this. I have spoken for the last 3 months. I've spoken to all the networks.
That doesn't sound like somebody who's going to retire.
Well, Dan, I'm gonna listen. I'm gonna listen. I mean, first of all, I'd be stupid not to take their call. But the beauty of this situation, I don't have to make any decisions for a year, Dan. But I told all three networks, hey, I'm honored, I'm flattered that y'all want to talk to me, but let's see what happens in a year. So that's the great thing about it from my perspective. I don't have to make any decisions for a year. But like I say, my intention, I'm not trying to play hardball. I'm not trying to get attention. My intention right now is to retire. Like I say, Ernie would never go to another network. I have not talked to Kenny and Shaq, but I have listened to everybody. And like I say, I got a year, Dan. I ain't got to worry about this.
Seems like Charles is confused. First he's retiring, now he's taking phone calls. I think that money is really, I mean, we're talking about a millionaire. That just lets you know you never can have enough money. We're talking about a millionaire. Said he was going to retire. That 10-year contract for $210 million, man, he was really counting on that for this retirement. That was part of the retirement plan, no doubt about it. This man is thinking about continuing, which is not bad. But that's just to show you. You don't have that money in the bag. Might have to go back out there and do some labor as a millionaire. Unbelievable. But he's confused.
All this stuff is just noise for a year, to be honest with you.
Okay, would you go someplace without Ernie or without, let's say, Shaq and Kenny? Let's say Ernie is not leaving, staying TNT Atlanta. Would you, on your own, go to another network to be part of their NBA broadcast?
I'm not frozen. I'm thinking.
Oh, that's not good.
That's a great question, Dan. I don't know how to answer that.
Talk about confusion. I still can't get over those sunglasses. Well, let's get into this article real quick. TNT Sports analyst Charles Barkley said he would listen to NBA partners ESPN, Disney, NBC, and Amazon if the remainder of his current 10-year contract with the cable network is not honored. TNT Sports lost out on the NBA in the league's recently announced 11-year, $76 billion rights agreement. My deal is 10 years, $210 million. TNT Sports has to come to me ASAP, and they have to guarantee my whole thing, or they can offer me a pay cut, which there is no chance of that happening, and I'll be a free agent. My thing was, wait, y'all effed up. I didn't F up. Why do I have to take a pay cut? Serious business. During the NBA Finals, with a known possibility that TNT Sports might lose its media rights, Barkley said he would retire if he found himself out of a job. He still has 7 years remaining on his deal. Barkley has been part of TNT Sports' flagship Inside the NBA show since 2000 and is part of a primary 4-man crew along with host Ernie Johnson and fellow former NBA players Kenny Smith and Shaquille O'Neal. Tricky situation. All in all, would I mind if Charles Barkley came back this season with another network, being a sports analyst for NBA basketball? No, I wouldn't mind. Like I said, he's entertaining. No doubt about it. But you can tell that when he said he was going to retirement, he had all this money in mind. And I know he's not hurting. This man is not struggling. So I don't know. He needs that $210 million. I don't know. I doubt it. Maybe it's tempting. But why would you retire anyway if you can go to another network? Yeah, you want to honor TNT. You don't want to go to another network. You don't want to leave Ernie. You don't want to leave Kenny. You don't want to leave Shaq. Yeah, we can understand that, but this is business. This is business. Y'all still can go out to eat, hang out, do what y'all want to do. But when it comes to business, and I'm pretty sure you might get a contract like this, maybe even larger. Who knows? But all in all, Charles Barkley knows how to talk basketball. He knows how to ruffle feathers. He calls it how he sees it. Certain other things behind the media, certain things, topics come up, whatever happens in the community, all that other stuff. You might have a whole bunch of arguments outside of that. But brutally honest and calling how you see it, Charles is one of the top. So he is a free agent, supposedly. A hot topic, hot commodity, whatever you want to call it. Whether it's ESPN, Disney, NBC, Amazon, whatever the case may be, I think he'll be right back into it. But old Charles Barkley, Geechee Dan, Uptown Saturday night.
It's funny, man. One day I'm on top of the world. And now this thing with Silky Slim. He must be crazy.
My goodness. Slash Chuck Reynolds is out there making sound bites again, man. Looking confused about what he wants to do, but he said he has 1 year to make this decision. So hopefully it'll be a good one. So y'all let me know if y'all like Charles Barkley coming back as a sports analyst. Do y'all care? Not care? Will it be good for basketball? Do y'all want to see the guy retire? How a millionaire was going to retire, and now he's thinking about money-wise because he probably won't even get this whole deal. 10-year contract that's going void. Or should he just get half the money? Should they give him half his money? I don't know how that's going to work out, but we'll see. We'll see. But I know one thing that he's shown, if he would have got all this money, $210 million, you wouldn't see Charles Barkley on anybody's podcast. You wouldn't see him taking any phone calls. The man would be retired if they honored this contract. But now, since he's back in the poorhouse, he's looking for employment, and he's answering telephones. So we're going to see what's going to come out of that. But USA, great job. Loving the event, especially the women's beach volleyball. Exciting. Every Olympics, I think I missed the last one. I wasn't too much into it. I don't know what happened. Maybe it was busy. I don't know. But when I watched the Olympics, women's beach volleyball, very competitive. Love watching those matches. Them women are outstanding. Men's too, but ladies, of course. But y'all enjoy yourselves, and like I say, let me know what y'all think about this Charles Barkley situation. Is he in the poorhouse? Do we need employment? Do he need to be a sports analyst again? Keep ruffling feathers? What the deal is with Charles Barkley, I don't know. He looks confused. I don't think he knows which way he wants to go, but he said he got 1 year, and we just sit and wait. But I just thought it was interesting. The man said he was going to retire and that he wasn't going no podcast, not taking any telephone calls. Then all of a sudden, he's taking telephone calls and he's going on podcast, the Dan Patrick Show. Shout out to him. Go subscribe. Do what you got to do with Dan Patrick over there. He got a great show going. Legendary Dan Patrick. But this G.S.Q.H, Goodymo Sports Quick Hits, and we are out of here, and it is Making It Monday. So y'all enjoy yourselves. Get it on over with, and we out of here. Peace.